The Legend of Zelda's prime antagonist Ganon has come in many forms, from a human named Ganondorf to a demon beast pig monster named Ganon. However, in Breath of the Wild, Calamity Ganon is extremely different as a whole from his other incarnations throughout the Zelda series. What has led to this particular appearance in this game? Well, I got some lore to iron out with you along with a theory to stand by it. It's a 2-for-1 special, baby, from yours truly, HMK. Alright, so with that being said, this video does contain spoilers on endgame content in order to fully tell Calamity Ganon's story, so you've been warned. Now let's get a little understanding of what truly is the Calamity Ganon. Well, this thing not only existed within the story of Breath of the Wild in this form, but also in the prologue to the game's events some 10,000 years prior. Calamity Ganon is referred to as the ultimate embodiment of evil and doom that was so great that Link and Zelda, armed with the Master Sword and the power to seal Ganon away, wasn't enough apparently. So the Sheikah built 4 divine beasts and a legion of guardians in order to assist in the fight against Ganon, which proved successful. However, with the eradication of Ganon at the time, the people knew that he would return, which leads many of us to believe that they finally became fully aware of the cycle of Demise's curse, which leads to the royal family of this generation to attempt to use the same strategy against Ganon in anticipation. But we all know how that song and dance went. So Ganon this time around appears as a pure form of malice and hatred, ethereal without true physical form, but capable of causing an insane amount of destruction, and able to infect both living and mechanical entities with his malice. But how did he get like that? And how did he get to this point? That question also gets mutated when we apply where many believe, myself included, where Breath of the Wild takes place in the Zelda timeline, and that being the child timeline. Hold on to your aggressive debates for now, I've got a video on that coming soon. But for now, if we're going along with Breath of the Wild being far ahead in the child timeline, some 10,000 years plus after Forzor's adventures, the last we saw of Ganon, he was sealed into the Force Sword. So how did he get out in order to wreak havoc on Hyrule? Well, technically he didn't. Allow me to elaborate. There is actually a very logical, well, by Zelda standards, explanation to this actually explained in-game. At the end of Breath of the Wild, right before you face Dark Beast Ganon, Zelda explains a little bit about Ganon's origin as the evil that is reborn time and time again in order to plunge Hyrule into darkness. However, what is different this time around is why Ganon appears like this in Breath of the Wild and in the 10,000 years prior before the game. It is because, as Zelda explains it, he has given up on reincarnation and assumed his pure enraged form. From this we can gather and theorize that when Ganon was sealed in the Four Swords in Four Swords Adventures, he found a loophole within himself and the curse's existence when sealed. So to that end, he would give up on reincarnation and leave behind his physical form, which remains in the Four Sword, to be reborn as pure malice and destruction in the form of Calamity Ganon. So while Ganon in his physical form was sealed in the Four Sword, he left his body behind in the sword and was reborn as the pure power from Demise's curse. And that's why he didn't reincarnate into a physical form and body, because his body was still left behind to rot inside the Four Sword. Don't believe me that this is an actual case? Well, I got you. In the fight against Calamity Ganon, you can tell right away that Ganon had tried to reproduce a new, albeit terrifying, physical form from a cocoon hanging above the sanctum of Hyrule Castle. Interestingly enough, the setup of the cocoon is highly reminiscent of the sealing apparatus in the Shrine of Resurrection. It could be like Ganon's own makeshift attempt at reviving himself with a physical form. Nah, that's exactly what it is, because if you take a picture of Calamity Ganon, it explains that in the bio. So to mark it down in the purest sense, if we're going with the notion that Breath of the Wild is taking place in the child timeline more than 10,000 years after the events of Four Swords Adventures, Ganon, in his physical glory, is sealed within the Four Sword. With him being sealed within the sword, he is unable to reincarnate as he does not die, he is simply sealed. In a desperate attempt to have his power and evil escape the confines of the Four Sword, he gives up on reincarnation and abandons his physical form in order to be reborn as pure malice in the form of Calamity Ganon. This form is so pure and powerful that the Master Sword and Zelda's sealing power isn't enough, so the Guardians and Divine Beasts were created in order to help combat this threat. This proved successful and Calamity Ganon is averted and sealed. When the Calamity reawakens 10,000 years later, the same strategy fails miserably, and using the stolen Sheikah technology, the Calamity Ganon tries to recreate a physical form after giving up his previous body that remains in the Four Sword. And there you have it, the lore and theory behind Calamity Ganon's rise, fall, and return. Given what we know about Ganon and the curse, I believe this is the most applicable scenario. However, moving forward with Zelda games, I believe we may have some more hard clarification on this entity in the future. So guys, what do you think about this theory and this lore video? Let me know what you think in the comment section below, and while you're at it, be sure to like, Favorite, share, and most importantly, subscribe to HMK for more Zelda content. And be sure to hit that bell to get instant notifications on when my next video goes live. So, until then, I've been HMK, and I'll check you guys later.